Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world, the world away. We now got part 20 of Deagostini's Build Your Own X-Wing. Look, another X-Wing shirt. You've seen this one before. I do love the blueprint shirts. We're going to be continuing on the laser cannon, which we've already done a few issues back. So this is one of these repeat issues, like we had with the DeLorean with the tracks and the rails. So I thought what we'll do something a little bit different this time. We'll get this built, and then we'll have a little bit discussion afterwards about the trial that's going on in France at the moment from Altea, which is the Deagostini arm in France, for the AT-AT Walker, or the TBTT as they call it over there. Not quite sure what that stands for, but it's in French, so I'm sure someone could put that in the comments what that actually stands for. And I'll give you my thoughts, and it'd be interesting to have a little discussion about what you think of it. But let me just show you what we've got to do in this issue. We're making the cannon again, which means we're going to need the parts that we were doing in part 19 here, just that, and the laser cannon barrel there, and just this little end here, which is going to keep everything together. So we're going to be putting the LEDs in. Obviously, we're creating the part that gets hidden, which is crazy. Four parts are going to get hidden in the end. So in the end, we're going to have a full cannon looking just like that. So you've seen this before, so we should be able to whiz through it. But you know me, I'm bound to make a mistake. Let's get cracking. Okay, so I'm just going to tip everything out. Oh, wow, we've got a whole thing. As you notice, I haven't got any screwdrivers today. We don't need screwdrivers, so I'm going to put this to one side. So the first thing we're going to need are the barrels that look just like this and this. And we are going to be pushing these together, but we need to put the LED in. So the LED goes in on the side, round the lug, and then comes out the other side there. So it's going to lie just like that, which is a little bit tricky. But and then we piece this together by pushing this into place without everything falling out. So there we go. That looks like it's got on perfect. The LED's just out the end there. Then we need to push the LED just into this start part here. So I'm just going to give it a little bit more leeway so I can actually get this all the way in. As a matter of fact, I probably need to give that a little bit more. That's better. Push that all the way in and make sure it goes all the way in, because my last one had a habit of just popping back out. I had to open the whole thing up again to get that through, but now that's in. And then we're going to attach this section to this section here, so it's looking just like that now. Then we've got the central union over here with this section here, and we've got this looking at that end. That end goes to the far side. It's going to go on this way round. Oh, getting caught up, of course. And then that's just going to slide over the end, and that's going to keep all of these bits in together. So just like that. Making sure when we push that in place, don't push on the bulb or that will pop back in there, which you don't want to do. Now we're going to put the rear end cap on, looking just like this. But when we do that, we're actually just going to put the wire up here and hold it there, so that when we put this in, and it has got a little direction that this can go in, make sure it's going in fine. The wire is going to be pinched at the top there. So it's coming out the side, so that's looking just like that. Wow, we're whizzing through this one, aren't we? Then we're going to take the two halves of the rear generator, looking just like that. Once again, we've got lugs and pins, and we just push these together. Hope you don't mind me whizzing through this, but if you want to see a more detailed version of this, you can go back and see the first wings. That's the rear generator. And finally, we're going to just piece that into here. As you can see, it's just going in one way there, and that's going to lock this into place. Oh, God, that was a bit tricky to get in. Just like that. So that's looking just like that. So what we've got to do then, we're going to be putting the engine that we just made earlier with the bulb on top. We're going to lie that in like that, so that this wire is going to trail just out of that notch there. Then we're going to take the optic fibre and lie that right next to the bulb in there like that. And then we're going to piece everything together by just putting the other side on here. Probably best to actually just guide that in like that first, and then put the optic fibre in. Just like that, and then push all of that together like that. Doesn't clip in because we've got a part that's going on the back there to hold that all in, and that's what we put in now, looking just like that. That's going to go over this slot here, hold it down, push that into place just like that. That's enough to hold that in. Then we're going to put the front cap over the front of the cannon here, which means threading it through just like this. And this can only go in one way because it is shaped, as you can see there. Lining that up, and then that will go in. Now as we push this in, we need to make sure that these details here go into the holes just on the side here. So I'm going to line them up as well. Just like that. Yeah, that click in there. So this is pretty solid now. This isn't going anywhere. And then what we do is we're going to be putting the barrel down the optic fibre here. All the way. And that's going to plug, get it all the way through, onto that section there. Looking just like that. Going to put that to one side while we do the suppressor mount, which is basically 3 sections here. We've got this section that's the end of the cannon here, just going to be going in like that. And then these lugs just go together like so. And then lastly, we just put this end on, making sure that the optic fibre is threaded all the way down the end of the cannon there. And plug that in. And then last but not least, we've got the suppressor that's just going on the end. And once again, this has got this little notch in there, which is going to fit it in the same notch here. So you can put it the right way around. You can always spin it around afterwards. But that's going in like that. Oh, this one's a lot tighter than the my last one was. And that is the laser cannon complete. Show you that on the side camera because it's a big old thing. Pretty good, but we've got to make another 2 of these in future. Now there is another part that I've missed out doing, which is basically we need to put a cap just on the end here, as you can see in the little thing I've done there. I've checked, I had to review the video when I tipped it out of the box. I've checked it, I don't have one. There wasn't one in there. So rather than order the whole part again, I'm going to put some micro crystal clear in there and make my own little I don't know, window glass in there. It's hardly noticeable, to be honest with you, but with a micro clear that will make that look fine. But be careful when you open your pack to ensure that you do have that tiny little bit of plastic there. I've ripped the place apart, but I definitely didn't have it when I tipped it onto the mat, so just be careful of that. And that's all there is to do on that issue. So in the next issue, I think we're going to start doing the wings. Yeah, we're going to be doing the lower port wing. So that's something you've seen before as well. But I'll try and keep you amused with my anecdotes and my endless babbling. And if you don't like that, you can just press the mute button. Anyway, you've probably seen some pictures, which I'll put up on the screen now, of the ATAT, which has been released in France. France seemed to get all of these trials. They had the Iron Man trial. They've got Star Wars Legion trial out as well at the moment, which I noticed, or that might have been out for a while. I do know that Knight Rider originally started in France, and now Germany's got the trial of that. So one day we may get to see these trials, but the ATAT over there, as I said at the start of the video, is called the TBTT. It looks like a really good build, and as you can see, the first issue is quite cheap, and I think the second issue is something like €5.99, and then it will go up like that. It's a 1/47 scale, is that right? Yeah, it's a 1/47 scale. It's going to be 60 centimeters long. I've got the details here, you see, and 50 centimeters high. It says, yeah, €1 to start off with, $5.99 for the second, and I don't know if it's going to go on from then. The problem with it that I see is that you've got a lot of flat panels, big flat panels, which you just know are going to come in one issue. So you're going to get a lot of issues for just one part. It's going to be repetitive, like we've got 4 cannons here. You're going to have 4 legs, which are going to be exactly the same as well. And I'm sure that those plates are going to get monotonous as well. It wasn't so bad with the Millennium Falcon, because if you notice, we had the plates and we had a bit of metal frame at the same time as well. Don't know if we're going to get the same sort of thing with the ATAT. Indeed, if it's going to be a metal frame underneath for the plates to go onto, I don't know. That's if they go ahead with it, of course. But that's all the details we've got. And unlike normal Alteo and Deagostini things, especially like I linked on my social media with the Knight Rider, there's no website for this. So it's a very hush down low secret in some small corner or in some provincial French town somewhere that they've released this. So if I get any more details, then I'll let you know. But you let me know in the comments what you think about this. I can think of far better Star Wars ships. I mean, Slave 1 for a start. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see a B-Wing fighter. I'd even love to see a snow speeder. I'd love to see a really big scale speeder bike. Can you imagine that? That can break apart like the old Kenner figures. Even a Scout Walker would have been better, I reckon. But I don't know about the ATAT. Don't think that appeals to me too much. But yep, let me know. Anyway, listen, I really do hope you liked that repeat video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.